Hello all and welcome to our Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on part 4 of our Pretty as a Peacock Blanket. How dramatic that was. I sounded very dramatic there. And you know why? Because the actual part 4 to me is a little dramatic, okay? Now, obviously we've done some groundwork here. We've done some amazing work here on the blanket. And part 4 was, and still is, supposed to be very easy. The only difference with part 4 is count. You've got to get your count correct. Otherwise, these little spaces are not going to even up. So what I did, I got 3/4 of the way through part 4. I think I got from there to about there. And then I stopped the recording. We're going to come back next week and do from there to there. Now, I haven't recorded that bit. It's just a whole lot of explaining to do, and I think it's going to be a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is leave that for next week, and your job today is to go from, I believe from there, I think it was, there, I can't remember now, from there to there. My brain is shut down from there to there, all right? So you will, by the time you're finished, I'm lying from there to there, that blue, right there, from that jade or aqua right up to the dark blue colors here. That's where you'll be at the end of this tutorial. In fact, at the end of this tutorial, I start this row here and then I stop because I want to get further into explaining here, because what happened was I got to this part here and things just weren't adding up. The math wasn't adding up, because the further on into the blanket you get, the wider this section gets, which means you need to increase a lot more. And over here, we were kind of increasing down here and one up here, and that was okay. But once you get to this round, where is it? Right here, the increases were happening more often, okay? There, not there, there and not there, and it was just, or both theirs, it was just totally confusing, and I didn't want to confuse you. So what I did was I want to start you from here and get you to there, and then we'll come back on Monday and I'll explain the rest. That's what you will have. No, you won't. It'll be like that. That's what you will have from there to there at the end of this tutorial. All right, I hope that makes sense. If you are having any difficulties with this pattern here, please let me know. It can get tricky, all right? Even though it looks basic, it's the count that can get tricky, because you are adding an extra double crochet in the first section of each section. Anyway, we won't talk about that right now. We're just going to get straight onto the tutorial. Just a quick one to let you know, for those of you who don't know what this is the Pretty as a Peacock Blanket. I will leave a playlist to parts 1, 2 and 3 in the description box down below. When you have finished that, come back and join us, oh, there's a gazillion ends there, for part 4 here. Now, heads up with part 4, you are going to have 2.5 million ends, and I'm not going to hide them from you. I'm going to show you what the back of this blanket looks like. Look at that. There's a lot of ends, all right? Now, your ends will probably end up all in the one spot, but yours truly did move my work around a little bit. Now, what I did was and I'll show you, let's say for argument's sake, I finished 3 stitches in on this colour. On my next colour, I go to 3 stitches in and start there, rather than starting in the same spot. Now, you don't have to do that. I didn't show you that on air. On air, I just showed you how to chain up and continue going. All right, so you won't get stressed. I just wanted you to know that that's what I did for mine. I did re-record this 3 times. 3 times this section, which is why I don't want to show you right now. I'm just going to get you to do that today, and we will continue that on Monday. I won't be doing the whole thing Monday. I will just be giving you some instructions, all right? I'm not going to talk anymore, just going to let you head off on your own. Good luck creating part 4 of your Pretty as a Peacock Blanket. Alrighty guys, so here are a couple of pictures I found on my computer of what a peacock really looks like, and I'm sorry about, the bad. I had to cut this one because all of the ink kind of smudged here and up the top as well, so I do apologize for the size of that one. But look at that Oh my gosh, look at this one. And again, I couldn't get proper photos printed off because I don't, they're not that crash hard, are they? But they're not bad. You can actually see sort of the layers that I'm talking about. Now, let me explain those layers to you, and I'll do it with this one because there's more colour on it. Right, so what we have here, so you understand, oh gosh, if I can find it, there. No, I'll need both of them for this. Oh, here, I'll need this one. All right, so what my inspiration was, the first part of your bird, which is all around here. I know that doesn't look like, it looks like it's gone further down here, but it's not. It's literally here. You've got a bit of yellow, a bit of purple, a bit of blue, a bit of green in there. You can't see it so well. You can't see it so well. Such a bad photo. I do apologise. But there you go. All right, and then you have your kind of, I've squared it off on purpose to give you that, hey, guess what? We've hit this mark. Look. That's what I've squared off right there. So where you see the very kind of last blues coming in, that's around here now, right? Then all these greens and yellows and purple came in, which was greens, yellows, and purples came in. Now, I was going to actually do it in patch form, like purple, purple, yellow, yellow, green, green. That would have meant a whole lot of yarn hanging off your blanket, and then it might have even come across a little bit messy. So instead, I kind of just stretched that purple out around, that yellow out around, I'm trying to get that. Where is the other picture? Where is the other picture? I'll put them all over here. I'm all over the place here, guys. Don't mind me. Just, talk amongst yourselves, Here we go. Oh, sorry. Trying to get that look there. Okay, see that look there? That's what this look here was supposed to be. So there's a bit of your green, and your green is in the round, and there's your yellow. Your yellow, and your yellow is in the round. And that's that part of the bird. Now, we're around here of the peacock. There. We're around there. You don't see it, but that's now going to open up really wide and become that. All right? This is where your spaces will come in. You'll see gaps or see-through dots, if you will. All right? That's this round going to do right now, this very second. Get excited, guys. We are going to start this round, and you're going to love this round and the next round because they are so easy. So easy. Now, I asked you to not... Let's try this side here. She can't get it right today. I asked you to not cast off your jade, right? Now, yours truly did cast mine off, but I asked you not to, all right? So you would have... Let's bring that up a little bit. You would have your jade already pulled through. So let's just say you haven't, which you have because I know we pulled it through on the last tutorial. So let's do that. Bring that blue down for a minute. Grabbing your jade or aqua. I keep calling it a jade. Could be aqua. Could be anything really. Pull it through your stitch and through the loop on your hook. All right, now grabbing the tails, just popping them at the back like so. And we're going to chain 1 and 2. And in the same space, we're going to put a double crochet, like so. So pop your stitch marker in that stitch, like so. Okay. Now, this chain 2 right here, that will not act as anything. And at the end of the round, we're going to be putting a double crochet there and then slip stitching, right? Just give that blue a bit of a tug so that it doesn't open up. We're going to weave that blue in as well anyways, so don't worry too much about that. Now, from here, you're going to pop a double crochet into your next stitch, and that will be classified as your second double crochet, third double crochet, fourth, fifth, keep going all the way until you get to your 13th, 6th, 7th, 8, 9, 10, 11, not in the same space, but in the next one, in every stitch across, 12 and 13. All right, so make sure that's actually 13. All right, so you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And your 14th, when we get to the end of the round, will be right in there. All right, so this chain 2 will act as nothing. Okay, but in the meantime, the very next step will be to chain 1, skip that next stitch, jump into your next stitch with a double crochet. And now you're putting 14 double crochets in this set. So 1, 2 and 3. And let's pop this on fast till we get to the 4. No, we won't. We'll keep going. We'll just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll try and be fast. How's that? We'll try and be fast. Bring that out a little bit. And you watch her mess up now because she said she was going to try and be fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. 6. I nearly dropped the frame then too, by the way. 7. 8. 9. 10. It didn't work. Let's take that out. 10 did not work. We'll try again. 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right, so count it again. Make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Chain 1, skip 1, jump into your next with 14. All right, and that's pretty much your pattern, guys. It really is. You're doing 14 double crochets across, chain 1, skip 1, 14 double crochets across. All right, and that at the end of the round should be exactly correct. Now, for those of you who don't know this, I was doing these rows all week trying to work out the right math. This is now finally the right math. So the numbers all add up, and silly me has not been counting these double crochets, so we'll just stop for a minute and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, chain 1, skip 1, and so on. All right, it's a super duper easy round, and you know what the best part is, guys? This particular tutorial here, part 4, is an easy part to your Pretty as a Peacock blanket. So your job, guys, in this round is to do 14 across, chain 1, skip 1, 14 across, chain 1, skip 1, 14 across, chain 1, skip 1, and so on. Do all of that, get around to exactly, not that stitch, the third last stitch, and I will meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we go, get excited. Alright, where I asked you to get to was, and I'm going to rush this because it's the afternoon, guys, and the sun's coming in. I said get to the last 3 stitches. It was actually kind of the last 2 if you think about it. So it's chain 1, and you should have a skipped stitch there, and 1 tight stitch right there because I pulled that blue really tight. Right, do you like that? And you're going into the very last stitch with a double crochet. I really did pull very tight, didn't I? Whoops. A double crochet like so, and then you're slip stitching into the stitch with a stitch marker. And what we did there was we added that 14th stitch. Remember in the beginning we only did 13 with the 2 chains, and now we've added the 14th stitch. Sort of like closed it up so there's no gap in there, if that helps. Now guess what, guys? Please don't be mad. Pull up the loop, cut it. So give it a cut. Sorry, guys. Please don't be sad. Don't be sad. All right. So what I want you to do is grab your next colour. We're going to use the green. And we're going to attach... Let's get everything out the way first. We're going to attach it to any one of our sets again, like we did before. Now what I'm going to do is just find out where all my tails are. and attach it somewhere else. So, I don't know, just here, on the other side. Halfway through, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's probably too close, sorry. All right, so what I want you to do here is, once again, we are going to probably do 2 in that one and 1 there. So we will actually go into the very next one. All right, so not your first. This is the beginning of each set. So not your first stitch, not your second, but your third stitch. Pop your hook in there, okay? And just pull a loop through. Pass the yarn forward just to lock it into place. Chain 1 and 2. Again, they count as nothing here. So yarn over your hook. In the same space, you are putting a double crochet. Once again, I'm actually crocheting over my tail, entirely up to you if you want to do that. And put a double crochet in every stitch until you get to your chain. And I forgot to put the stitch marker in that first one. Sorry guys, pop your stitch marker there, like so. I'm rushing it because of the sun. You can actually see it coming through. So I'll be real quick guys, because it's a very quick and easy row, just like the last one. So double crochet in every stitch until you get to your chain. And there's just 1 extra stitch you need to do in this row, or 1 extra step you need to do. So just keep putting your double crochets, double crochets, double crochets. Oh, she's rushing it. Look at her. Oh. And I'll finish the rest tomorrow morning. But for now, we'll just get you on track for this round. It won't be tomorrow morning for you guys. It'll be tomorrow morning for me, and it'll be, you know, in 2 seconds time for you. And you'll see the lighting change when we go on to the next colour. All right, so we got to our little space here, and what we're going to do is exactly the same. Chain 1, skip that chain, go into the very first double crochet, and that's right there. Yeah? So right into that double crochet, you're doing 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then all you're doing is a double crochet across. So let's pop this on fast for you, and off we go. Alrighty guys, we have neared right to the end of that section there. Alright, so what you did was you did all of that, then you did a chain, and then you put two double crochets in your first stitch and 1 in every stitch until the end. Then we chained 1, skip that space, 2 double crochets in your first stitch. And like guys, this is pretty much it for the rest of the round. You are going to, well, I won't say fly through it, because you know these rounds take a long time now, right? But let me show you what you need to do. Very simple round. See the sun coming in? We don't want that, so we're going to continue this recording tomorrow. It'll be in 2 minutes time for you, or 1 minute time for you, and like tomorrow for me. So all you're going to do is just that. You are going to put, let me get another close up, get rid of that sun. It didn't work too well. You are going to put put 2 double crochets in the first stitch and 1 double crochet in the next 14 stitches. Let's try 13 stitches. Chain 1, skip this space, 2 into the first and a double into each one. Chain 1, skip this space, 2 into the first and a double into each one, all the way through. When you get to this stitch right here, just wait for me there and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. It'll have to be tomorrow morning now, because look at the sun. I'll catch you in a moment. Bye. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round, okay? And I'm up to the part where we need to chain 1 and put 2 double crochets in that stitch right there, 1 and 2. All right, like we're starting a new set, and then 1 double crochet into the last stitch, and then you are going to slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker. And of course I've lost my thread, as you do. With your stitch marker. Let's take out that stitch marker, it just confuses us a little. All right, and that's that. And then you do what you always do. Whoops, pull a loop through, cut your work. I cut mine before because I made an error, so cut your work. You don't need to know that. Cut your work and there you go. Now this is where we're going to use our yellow, okay? And we are going to start our yellow. Okay, there's your chain space. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start it in the 5th stitch. Pop your yellow over like so. Gold, yellow, whatever you want to call it. And just pull the loop over so you can lock it into place. Chain 1, single crochet in that stitch right there. That's right, it's a single crochet. Okay, like so. Whoops, there we go. Now you are doing, oh, I almost did a double. You're doing a single crochet in this round. And your single crochet goes over 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to pop that little tail at the back now. We're going to weave that in as well after. That's not the end of it, yeah. And single into your next stitch. When you come to your space, it's single in the space, single into your next, and your next, and your next, right there. I'm going to pop my tail across that way. You don't need to. You can leave it there if it confuses you, but I just find it easier to crochet over it like that. And then single directly, you're skipping the knot and you're single directly into the stitch. All right? Thought I'd do it from here just to show you how to cover that knot. Otherwise, that's going to become an issue later. You're going to make sure you cover that knot. Well, no, not really. It's not really going to be an issue. It's just that the knot has to be covered. And you see, once you cover that knot, this chain 2 will not be noticed. All right? So now what we're going to do is super easy. Single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Single crocheting over your chains and just get to your very last stitch and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round. Now you're going to love this part. You will, and I'll tell you why, because we're not casting off. What? That's the first time in a while, isn't it? Still keep single crocheting all the way across your round until you get to your very last stitch, which is right there. You're going to love this round, trust me. Okay, slip stitch into the tight stitch. Slip stitch in there like so. Can't take me anywhere. Anywhere but out. All right, so give it a nice tight tug. Chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch as your chain 1. Whoops, like that. Pop your stitch marker in there like so. That's correct, guys. We are using the same colour. And guess what you're doing in this round? It's so tricky. All it is single crochets all the way across. Again. That's how easy this round is. I'm so naughty telling you how tricky it is when really it's easy. All right, so single crochet in every stitch. You come to, when you get to that tight stitch, make sure you get in there. In every stitch you come to, whoops, all the way across your round and off you go. I don't need to show you the rest. Head off on your own. Single crochet in every stitch, get to the very last stitch right there, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are. Oh, that's a bit too close. Here we are at the end of this round. Now, sadly we are changing colours. The thing is, we probably could have kept the green, but it's a little difficult. It's easy to pass the green up when it's one row, but when it's 2 rows, or 2 rounds if you will, it will be noticeable, the green will be noticeable that it's passed up, which is why we had to cut it. So I do apologise in advance for that, but that's pretty much the way it's going to be. Sorry guys. Single in your last 2 stitches, or how many stitches you have left. Yeah. And what you're going to do actually is just pop your hook in there, and to save face, we're not going to cut yet. Grab your purple. That's going, I'm sorry, your green. Hello. She doesn't know what she's doing here. Grab your green and pass your green through that stitch. Usually we cast off and then re-add. We're not going to do that here, okay? Just give everything a tug for now. Ooh, everything a tug. All right, so chaining 1 and 2. All right, you're going to pop your double crochet in the same space, and again popping a stitch marker in that very top stitch. From here, I've left a stitch marker here to remind me not to go any further, but from here you're going to double crochet a second one, third, fourth, fifth, let's count properly, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and just hold it there a minute. You know what, forget it, we'll just keep going. We'll do one more in that stitch marker right there. You don't have to worry about the stitch marker because you didn't have it there. I did, and I'll explain it to you after we finish this section here, so you understand what's happening next. All right, we're going to chain our 1. We're going to skip, did I just split that stitch? Oh no, the stitch marker did. We're going to skip the next stitch and do a double crochet in your next. By the way, you do need to cast off that yellow, so give your yellow a cut. That way it's out of the way and we don't have to, it doesn't get tangled in everything. Hello. Okay, so what you need to do now is do another 15. So you've done 1, even though we've only done 14 there because our 15th will be right at the end of the round. Okay, so we've done 1. Did I skip this? No, I didn't. Oh, take that undone. We'll do it again. Just this part here. All right. So you got to your 14th. Oh, she's all over the place, guys. Chain 1, skip that stitch and jump into your next stitch. Exactly what you've been doing here, you're doing in the middle, in the center of your last section. I'll talk about that in a minute. So you did 1, and now you're doing 15 across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, she's doing well. Hello. Try that again. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, so make sure you are counting, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this round needs to be 15. All right, we need to even it out. So every section needs to be 15 except this because I've got the extra 1 we need to attach there. All right, and you're doing that all the way across. Now what you're doing is you're popping your chain space in the center of these 2. So if you've messed up a little bit and don't know your count or something's gone wrong, all you need to do is count your stitches below like this. You've got your 2 stitches there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there is where you put your chain space, in the center of the 15 from the below. Or just do this, 15 across, chain 1, skip 1, 15 across, chain 1, there's stitch marker there, skip 1, 15, oh no, that's something else, that's me doing counts. Oh, by the way, guys, you should be actually counting your stitches in the rounds when you're doing your single crochet rounds, so that when you get to this part here, you haven't lost count. How many stitches should you have right now? 336 stitches in the round you should have come up with. All right, so I didn't mention that earlier, but I'm going to mention it now. I did write it up the top earlier, so that's no problem. You should have 336 single crochets in the round of your yellows or your gold, and that's how all this will even out in the end. Yeah. So in the meantime, your job is to do 15 double crochets across, chain 1, skip a space, 15 double crochets across, chain 1, skip a space, 15 double crochets across, chain 1, skip a space, get to the last, I think there's about 2 stitches left. We've got 1 for the double, 1 skip, and then 1 there. So you'll end up in that third last stitch. All right, get to your third last stitch and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round. All right, and she can't get it right, can she? Hello. All right, so you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to take my stitch markers out. They actually helped me. I don't know what you did to help you count, but I use stitch markers after every 15th to say that's where the chain space was. So chain 1, skip that stitch, do 1 last stitch, which is the first stitch in this section right here, yeah, which is there. So if you calculated from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, we're not including the chains, 15. All right, I'm hoping you're getting that part of it all. And then you are going to slip stitch into the stitch with the stitch marker, and I'm going to be sad again because we have to cut. So pull a loop through like so, pull up a loop like that, and literally pull up your loop with this one and give it a cut. I need to be careful doing that. One day I'm going to cut into my work. Don't do that, guys. Oh, before you cut your work, make sure it's all correct. Oops. Make sure it's all correct. Now, the reason I asked you to cut it is because you can put your hook in any other area. As you know, we've been doing it all over here, so we've got lots and lots of loops. So what we're going to do is find anywhere else where there's, no ends. Anywhere. Doesn't matter. Yeah? And we are using our purple. Yay, we're on to purple. Get excited. Get excited. Now, initially, when we did the next round, remember we did the first set here, and in the next, we did the first set here, and the next round we increased. Well, we're not going to do this in the next round. Okay, so grab your thread, yes, and find your anywhere in any set, not your first stitch, and not your second, but your third. It doesn't really matter. You can pop it anywhere. I just pop it in the third. It just helps me to remember. And in some rounds, you really need it in that third. But this round here, not so much. Best part about this round is, guys, 1 and 2. In the same space, you are putting a double crochet. Yeah. Oh, once again, you need to pop your stitch marker right there. Yeah. And then, easy round this one. Double crochet in every stitch until you get to your chain space. Okay, in every stitch until you get to your chain space. Can't take me anywhere, can you? waiting until she gets there. Oh dear. I said in my lives, we only act silly in the lives. Well, some of us do during the tutorials as well. All right, we're nearly there, nearly there. All right, here we are. We are at the end of this first set, our first set, not so much this first set, but our first set. Guess what we're doing? We're chaining 1, skipping it, jumping into the next with a double crochet. Now, if you remember in this set here, we increased. Well, we're not going to increase with this one. We're just going to copy or mimic the last row. Super duper easy, yeah? I don't think I need to show you. I think you know what you're doing. Easy, easy. All right. Best part about this is you probably don't need to count if you want to just fly through it. I usually check every set once it's done to make sure I haven't skipped a stitch, but otherwise it's exactly the same. You are double crocheting, leaving your chain 1 space there, double crocheting, chain 1 space, all the way across. Get to the end of the round right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty, guys. Oh, it's far away, isn't it? So far away. All right, let's get a close-up. That's better. And this is where we are at the moment. Bear with me, guys. The blanket's getting a little too big for me. All right, we got to the end of this round where we've got our chain one space there. We chain one. We do our double crochet into the first stitch. One into the second. I think I put it in the fourth before. Can you believe it? And one into the third. Hello. Never mind. All right. So then we slip stitch. Oh, I've split the stitch there. Slip stitch into the stitch without the split stitch. Without the split part, yeah? So slip stitch into that stitch there. Oh, wait, we're not slip stitching with the purple. No, we're going to slip stitch with the blue. Now this is an area where it's up to you. We are going to change back into the purple after we do 2 rows of your blue. The question is, do you want to carry up within the next 2 rows? I personally wouldn't do it, right? I would actually just cut my purple. So slip stitch through that, like so, and then cut the purple later. All right, might be an idea to do that. It's up to you. You're welcome to carry up if you like, but I'm not going to. So chain 1, single crochet, and this is exactly the same now. These 2 single crochet rows are exactly the same as these last ones that we did. So all you're doing is single crocheting in every stitch across and over every chain you come to. And I'm really messing this up because it's all falling off the table. First world problems, I don't know. Here we go, single crochet all the way across and away we go. So all you're doing is getting to your chain space. Let me bring that out a bit now. My hands are so big in front of the camera there. Hello. Okay, single crochet until you get to your chain space. Now you know how to do this because you've done it with the yellow, but I'm going to show you quickly anyway. There's the space right there. You single crochet over the chain and then make sure you get that first single crochet. You don't want to miss that, otherwise you'll be 1 single crochet short at the end of the round. And then you just single crochet all the way around your piece like that. All right, so that's easy, guys. Single crochet in the round, get to this last 2 stitches here, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Okay, now here we are at the end of this round. Let's bring that up. All right, and I need to pop a single crochet in my space, making sure you weren't missing that first single crochet because you will be short, and you should still have 336 stitches by the end of this round. Now it's a little loose here, so I'm just going to put that single crochet right there and then just tighten up everything. You're going to weave that purple in later anyway. All right, so there we go. From here, what you're going to do is just slip stitch into the stitch. It's real tight. Slip stitch in that tight stitch. Oh dear, I don't know. Can't take me anywhere. All right, so slip stitch in there, like so. Pull that loop through, pull it through to the loop you are in. We are not changing colors, guys. Chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch. Oops, that tight stitch. Oh my gosh, that is tight. And pop a single crochet, pop a stitch marker in there. Hello. And then you are just single crocheting in every stitch. This is exactly the same thing we did with the yellow, guys, down here. We did a single crochet in the round. Now make sure you are counting these single crochets because it is easy to miss one, yeah? So that's it, guys. I don't think we need to show you this part here, or you need to watch me do this, but I would like for you to pop a single crochet in every stitch all the way around. This round might get a little tight because we haven't been doing any increasing, but don't stress, we can work that out later, okay? So your round may lift a bit, okay? So don't stress. Single crochet in the round, get to your last 2 stitches here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round, and once again you should still have 336 stitches in the round. And you may notice it's kind of lifting up that little tiny bit. That is normal because we've stopped increasing. And we're going to start increasing, but not in this next round, but in the round after that. And it won't bucket too much because the next round is going to be a double crochet. All right, so finish off your round, pop your hook in the stitch with the stitch marker in it. Now if you've got your purple, you can just pick up your purple now and pull it through, but yours truly is going to restart with a new thread, exactly the same way you would if you're pulling your thread through. All right, so don't stress if you haven't cut yours. That's fine, just do that, just pull it through like it's a normal round. Now don't worry about my stitch markers, I'll talk about that in a minute. Chain 1 and 2, and we're putting a double crochet in the same stitch, like so. Pop your stitch marker in that stitch like so. All right, now, okay, we'll have a quick chat about what's going to happen. Oh, I just split the yarn there in the next few rounds. Initially, that's it. Initially, you can just do the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over and over and over again. However, and we're going to do this set one more time, because when we did this set here, we had 15 double crochets in each set. In this round, we're going to have 15 double crochets in each set. In the next round, we'll end up with 16. So it will be an even amount, whereas this was an odd amount, which makes counting across a tad difficult. All right, so we're going to do the counts together for the next 8 rounds. But once I show you the increase, and the next round after that, you can do the next. Like you can do the single crochet rounds on your own, and we'll talk about that later. But this next 2 rows I want to do together. All right. The benefit about doing the next set together is when I send you off on your own and say, you know, duplicate these sets, you'll be able to duplicate from the odd numbers and then duplicate from the even. That doesn't make sense yet, but once you do the next set, it kind of will. All right. So what you're going to do, remember in our first set, we had our gaps or spaces there. And in our second sets, we've gone in between. Now in this set, we're going to go back in the same section. All right, so it's one set this way, one set that way, one set this way, one set that way. And you've got little gaps all over the place, but they even up. All right, so that doesn't make sense, but don't stress. Did I confuse you? Do a double crochet in your next stitch. I really did, didn't I? I'm sorry, guys. A double in the next, a double in your next. So initially what you have here is your double with your chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have 4 double crochets, chain 1. You don't worry about the stitch marker, I will. That was just to remind me to chain 1 there. Skip that double crochet, jump into your next with a double crochet. Double across, and remember you need to do your 15 double crochets across altogether. We've got 2 there now, so let's just keep going. 3, we'll pop this on fast, I think. No, we won't, just put up with me. 4, do you like that? Just put up with me, that's it. 5, she's very naughty. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whoops, that didn't work, let's try that again, 14, and 15. Take that stitch marker out, not you, me, because I'm the only one that's got it there. All right, so what we're going to do here is, too close, too close. All right, is chain 1, skip 1, jump into your next. All right, so now you're doing your 15 across. Now this is the last round that you will have 15 in each set. Your next round you're going to be doing 16, and we'll talk about that when we get to the next round. All right, once again, your work may tend to turn up a tiny little bit, but not much. And the increase round in the next round is going to really spread it out again and make it more wavy. And then you add your plain double crochets and single crochets across. Don't worry about that for now. Just do your 15, chain 1, 15, chain 1, 15, chain 1 until you get to the end of the round. And I'll meet you back in a moment. And can you see the pattern I'm trying to create? We started with the aqua and the green, and then we did some yellow single crochets here. Now we're using the green to combine your purple there, and then we're going to use your purple to combine the aqua once again, and then the aqua to the green, and that's going to be the color combination. But again, don't worry about that, we'll talk about that later. Just get to the end of this round right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, I can't really fit it all in at the moment, but we can do a nice long shot at some stage during our next live. So you'll get to have a look at that. By the way guys, if you are interested in our lives, they are 10 a.m. Saturday mornings and 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons. That's Melbourne, Australia time. And I usually show this blanket off during that live, and you will see that this weekend as well. So here we go. Now, the last space was there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so that's your last space. Just tighten everything up because that'll just, you need to close that up there. And then all we're going to do is slip stitch in there, take out your stitch marker, and you're going to change to the jade. All right, jade, aqua, whatever you want to call it. All right, so let's grab our aqua or jade, whatever, pull it through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Just giving everything a tug. Now you're going to cut the purple in a minute anyway. We won't be using that anymore for the next few sets. So it's 1, 2, and a double crochet in your same stitch, like that. Popping your stitch marker in there, like so. Okay. And now we are going into the very next stitch with a double crochet into your next double, into your next double. We're at the chain space, so what are we going to do? Chain 1, skip the space, jump into your next double crochet. But in this row, we're going to be increasing in the first stitch again, like we did with the, which one was it? Green. All right, so now with the aqua, we are going to increase in the first stitch. So add another double crochet in that first stitch. Then you're double crocheting all the way across your stitches here until you get to your next chain space, she says as she struggles to get there. Everybody's saying, stop it, just keep going. Oh, maybe I'll pop this on fast. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Here we are. We're right here. It's pointless. All right. Almost there. 2 more to go. 1 and 2. And what you should have in this set now, right here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, because we are increasing in the first one. So we are chaining 1, skipping the space, 2 double crochets in your first stitch. And then what are you doing? 1 across. Now I'm not going to let you sit there and watch me do this, but that's how basic this round is. Now you've done a round like this before, so you pretty much know what you're doing. However, I'll give you a quick rundown. You are doing all of your double crochets across. When you get to your space, you do your chain 1 and then do 2 double crochets in your first stitch and then double crochets all the way across. Chain 1, skip the space, 2 double crochets in your first, and so on, all the way around until you get to, let's say, a couple of stitches before the end of the round. All right, head off on your own and do that round, and I will meet you there, right there, once we're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round, and I've got like a gazillion ends under there. We'll have to weave those ends in eventually. I just wanted to get you started and on your way before we start weaving in ends. Let's give it a bit of a tug. Alright, I have my last double crochet to go in there. What we're going to do is just count it so we know where we're at. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. All right, so that's your 16th set. Even though we started towards the end of each set. Is that split there? Let's have a look. It kind of is split. Mary, you had one job. All right, let's slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker without splitting the yarn like yours truly. Oh wait, we're changing colours. And so pop your whatever colour you're using over your hook. Like so. Okay, now I'm going to drop everything as usual. Give it all of it a tug. And chain 1, and guess what you're going to do? Oh, I didn't really pull that stitch, didn't I? Single crochet in the same space. Oh, I'm really doing well with that stitch. Absolute crazy. Oh, here we go. No pulling of any stitches, guys. Single in there. Grab your stitch marker, like so. And a single crochet in, guess what? Every stitch. Now you know this part because this is not going to change. In between every double crochet set, every second double crochet set, you'll be doing this, exactly this. And in actual fact, this is what you'll be doing for the rest of part 4. All right, not single crochets, but the sets we've just done. You'll be doing all of that from there all the way up to the last single crochet row. All right, so head off on your own and do your single crochet round in every stitch you come to, every stitch. And don't worry about this little stitch marker that's right here, okay? We'll do the single crochets all the way across. Take your stitch, oh, you don't have one, I do. I'll take that out. And you're popping a single crochet in the next stitch, yeah, and 1 into your next, like so. Then I want you to just have a look at that. To me, it looks like when we do the next round, I'm sorry, let me bring that down a bit. So when we do our next round and we're ready to do our chain space, it will go over that stitch that I just did. Now I know this is not making sense, and we'll do the count after later as well, but I wanted you to see this. The reason I wanted you to see this is because if you head off on your own later and you start doing sets and sets and sets and sets and so on, like if you did 10 sets, you wanted your blanket to be really, really big, then you'll need to know exactly where you're going to put your stitch marker. But in the meantime, I want you to continue in this round doing just single crochets all the way across the round. Okay, do your single crochets all the way in the round, get to this stitch marker right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of this round. Now get excited guys, get excited. You should have 357 single crochets in the round. All right, I didn't mention that before, but I did write it up the top of the screen there. To remind you, that's how many stitches you should have. Now, mine has come loose a little bit. We're going to need to weave in some of these ends very, very soon, right? All right, but for now, just give everything a tug. Tug, tug, tug. All right, make sure you count your stitches before the next round, or you're going to spend hours doing your rows and your rounds and then not getting them done in time. All right, and I just apologise in advance, guys, for all the noise. Slip stitch into there. We have some fellas working on a fence next door, so just bear with me and all that little hammering away. And you're only going to be here for a second anyway, because guess what this round is? A simple single crochet round all the way across. Sorry about the hammering in the background. But there you go, that's life, hey? All right, so that's it. Single crochet in every stitch. When you get to that stitch marker, put a single crochet in there and then put your stitch marker back in. Just go quiet for a moment, guys, to stop that banging. Alrighty, here we are at the stitch marker. Taking out that stitch marker, put your single crochet in there and pop the pop your stitch marker back in there. Alright, and just single crocheting all the way in your round. Super duper duper easy, yeah? Love this row. All round, I should say. All right, so your job now, guys, is to do a single crochet in every stitch. Get to the stitch marker right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty, guys, here we are at the end of this round, okay? And the next job we're going to do is we're going to use the same colour here, the jade, or whatever you want to call it, the aqua. Once again, you could have, brought the colour up, but I preferred to cut mine, so there you go. Just finishing off this round, slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker. Now this is where I was talking to you before about where you're going to place your next stitch, yeah? So you're slip stitching with the jade, okay? Pull that through, laxo, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Give yourself a nice tail for weaving in. Look at all these tails. Oh boy, oh boy. This is why I like to start in different areas. But to show you what we're doing, I'm going to keep the same area for a while. 1, 2, and a double crochet in the same space. All right. So now, easy job. You need to do a double crochet across your side here. So it's 1, you've done 1 already. 2, make sure your stitches are 357 across, by the way. Otherwise this part won't work. 3, hang on, 1, 2, 3, hello, just can't count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right. From here, you don't have to worry about a stitch marker. That was for my benefits. From here, you're going to chain 1, skip that stitch and go into your next. Alrighty guys, I just stopped you right there. As I mentioned in the promo, that I did have to re-record that section over and over again, so I've stopped you there. Join me back here on Monday to complete the rest of this piece so that we can actually work out all the math for you, okay? The math I did not work out, so I had to actually change it at the last minute, which was pretty much like, half an hour ago. literally half an hour ago. I finished the last 2 rows thinking how on earth that worked out that way is beyond me. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So I want to talk to you about it properly on Monday. In the meantime, just make sure you weave in your 2.5 million ends, and I will meet you back here on Monday to continue the rest. Also, if you are able to watch our lives, we have lives here at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time, and 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, Melbourne, Australia time. And what we do is we talk about all our projects, we have a little bit of fun, we do a little bit of silliness, but this Saturday we are doing live antics. Okay, now if you don't know what live antics are, what happens is I leave some yarn on a table and I choose one of our subscribers that are on the live, anyone who's on the live, and I get them to pick a colour combination, and that will be our colour combination for our very next project on this channel. So you as a subscriber gets an opportunity to be part of our tutorials, in a sense that you got to choose the colour combination, put it that way. All right, so thank you very much for joining me today. It was a tad confusing, this part here, so I'm going to talk to you about that on Monday. In the meantime, I will see everybody on our live Saturday morning. And how gorgeous is our pretty as a peacock blanket looking so far. Don't forget to weave in your gazillion ends. My name is Mary, this is Crochet Designs, and I'll see everyone next week. Ciao for now.